Everything in my life is tainted now, soaked in ever-moving shadows that flames cast on me. They surround the cell I'm locked in, and there seems to be no escape. Yesterday, I played with our daughter for a while. She was a bit shy at first, but then she loosened a bit. Started to laugh and dance. I felt the happiness coming. It was just at the door. And then, like a guard in a prison, feeling that I might just catch a glimpse of freedom, the pain came. I saw the fear in her eyes. In her mind, I must be a maimed monster, haunting her worst nightmares.
I hope she picks up music again. It would be such a loss for the world if she didn't. I pray she still has it in her. I'm sure that when she gets better, both your art and hers will reach new heights. It's just a matter of time and of her wanting to heal.
Yes, I did it! Can't you see what's happening to you? The rotten heart of our house. There was a time when I couldn't spend a day without crying. But now, I don't even want to do that. It's like my emotions are locked in their own cage, and I can't even be bothered to look for the key. Playing with our daughter is usually a joyous occasion, one of few left in my life. Today, though, I had to ask her to leave almost mid-sentence. It's all these questions. How do you feel, Mommy? What do you think, Mommy? Mommy, why are you sad? What is your name, Mommy? I don't know, darling. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything but the fact that my chains grow heavier every day. I feel that my soul has gone sick, and that's why I'm writing to you. It's like all my energy has gone away. It is hard to even get out of bed. Not because of the pain. I don't mind the pain as much as I used to.
That's it. Oh, God.
I missed you, my love.
The symptoms you're describing aren't uncommon, especially among women and artists. Being that you are both, you are naturally more prone to hysteria and melancholy. I'd suggest avoiding extreme emotions and spending time in peaceful surroundings. In fact, we have a center for troubled women.
We had another argument today. Asked if I was feeling all right, and I just snapped. I don't understand why I'm being treated that way. The accident was ages ago. And I left largely unscathed. I'm fine now. I wrote to the doctor, declining his offer. I won't be locked up. I won't let them. I will get through this summer.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit!
You can't undo it.
Why?
I wrote.
Whoa! Too close! Let me in!
You only hurt yourself. Pathetic. You weakling. You claim that you're perfect? Nothing would hurt you if it were the truth. Perfection is incorruptible, eternal. Proud. Look at you, chasing me around like a fool. What even am I to you? You are my future. I am strong enough to be you. I will be perfect.
The things you describe in your letter are, frankly, impossible. I admire your drive, but don't you see yourself? All you'll achieve by forcing yourself to do these things is more pain. Your body isn't what it used to be. Learn to live with it, please. I wouldn't stand it if another tragedy befell you and your family.
My husband's palace. When he locked himself in there, the whole house felt like a prison cell.
I'm sorry for the late answer. These letters are hard to read for me. I don't sleep because I'm thinking about you and your misfortune. I need a break after your father. And when I come back to it, to write the answer, there's always a matter of deciphering. Your handwriting, I'm sure you know it's not as beautiful as it used to.
Yesterday I was woken up by, I think, the most terrible sound I've ever heard. Like a sick cat being slowly strangled. It took me a long time to realize it was the violin. She picked it up and tried to play. I think there's no coming back for her.
From what you write, this whole situation is very hard for your child. Maybe you should spend less time with her. I know it's painful, but
Sometimes I think she changed too much. That this is not the person I love. That this is not a person I could ever love.
I don't think you fully understand your condition. You have been in a terrible accident, and you are, to be honest, lucky to be alive. Not to mention writing letters, demanding of your body to come back to normal. To be healthy is like demanding a broken mirror to fix itself. You're doing great progress, and you're healed. But I'm afraid things won't be back to normal. No doctor on earth can make the pain go away. I'm truly sorry to tell you that. But you will have to learn to live with it.
perfection. To call yourself an artist, a musician, a woman in her many roles, muse, wife, mother. To call yourself anything, you need to at least strive for perfection. I didn't strive. I achieved it. And then it was taken from me. Forever locked outside of the cage that was my life. I will not accept it. I am no one. I am nothing if not perfect. Why am I so cold? Why is it so silent?
It was done. He finished it. I thought.
I wanted to thank you for this book.
My palate was sated, nostrils stimulated, standing, venerated. It was never true, was it? Even before the depths of desperation. When the book became a hit, I already knew what I lost. I knew who she took from me. 10 years is a lot of time for a person to fail, to hit the bottom, to explore it, and to find the darkest secrets of their craft. I'm coming back there. I'm getting him back.
Good to hear from one of our writers.
Bring him back!
I'm afraid it's not possible.
You know where I'm at, sad man? I'm at your precious lighthouse!
Yes, I am aware of that.
Don't interrupt me. I'm at the lighthouse, and I know how to hurt your precious queen. I know how to break that pact. So either you bring him back, or I'll show you what I can do with words.
I will warn you.
Start your search on Amazon today.
I don't give a fuck.
What if you couldn't just come to me and drop $100 with all the cards right away? Someone explicitly prevented that, Marvel Snap. You can't just come day one and buy as many boosters as you want. Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and let's talk about the Flash movie in the very peculiar way it approaches timeline logic. I call this the
guess what? I can write without you. I always could. Is this?
Despite our previous reminders, the above amount due remains unpaid.
Bible. Maybe.
Let's get this over with.
Theory. Everyone in this movie is eating poorly made spaghetti, and everyone's teeth are falling out like toddlers. But based on the rules of how timelines work in this Flash film and how it contradicts our understanding of movies like Avengers Endgame, there may actually be an answer to the big question left from this movie: who killed Barry's mother, Nora Allen? Quick announcement here: Marvel's Secret Invasion is coming to Disney Plus June 21st. My Easter egg breakdown is coming to the new Rockstar's main channel that day around 3 p.m. Eastern, and there are so many details and conspiracy theories in the show that you just gotta tune in or we're gonna know you're a Skrull. Also, our after show Inside Marvel is coming back too, Wednesday mornings, live in person, West Coast Avengers Unite, and it will transition to being a Break Room channel exclusive, so be sure to subscribe to the Break Room as well as our Deep Dive channel for other great content. Okay, early in The Flash, Barry Allen explains to Iris West the specific timeline of events around his mother Nora's murder and his father Henry being falsely convicted of it. Barry says, my dad wasn't even at home. My mom sent him to go get a can of tomatoes. I thought whoever broke into the house thought it was empty. My mom was in there with a knife in her hand and things went bad. Just an absurd chain of events. Absurd indeed. In the Flash comics, we learned Barry's mother was actually killed by Reverse Flash Eobard Dawn, a villain from the future who needs Barry Allen to exist as a Flash to lead to his own existence, and thus needed Barry's inciting incident to become the Flash, his mother's murder. Basically, for Eobard, the ends justify the means because the means justify the ends. But the character of Reverse Flash does not come up at all in this film. We're just left with the lingering mystery of who would have stabbed a woman to death in a relatively safe neighborhood in broad daylight with elderly neighbors going on walks. These robbers, assuming just because the husband and father left for a quick grocery run that no other wife or kid would be in a large two-story house. So people of the YouTube jury, I present to you that someone did murder Nora Allen, and that wasn't a robbery gone awry, that she was targeted with the same type of motive as her murder in the comics. So who was it? Eobard Dawn, Reverse Flash, the hypothetical off-screen future that this franchise may never show us, or someone else that we did see in this film? Well, to solve this, we must examine this film's alternate approach to multiverse logic, the Pescetti theory, as I call it. Michael Keaton, Bruce Wayne, uses spaghetti to actually explain it, saying, at some point, you probably saw a movie that told you that if you went back and changed the past, you'd create a kind of branch timeline, right? New present, new future. Well, time doesn't work like that. That's not how time works. You go back and change the past, you create a fulcrum. You put yourself on a whole other strand of spaghetti. New future, new past. It's retrocausal. It goes both ways. Really, it goes in several ways. Now, Barry starts asking about an ontological paradox model, but Bruce cuts him off, saying, what you did is you changed the future and you changed the past. If a person is stupid enough to mess with time, what you eventually get is a multiverse. Some strands run almost parallel. There will be inevitable intersections, and others that are just wildly divergent. So, unlike the way time travel is depicted in Avengers Endgame and Back to the Future Part 2, in this movie there are no branch timelines in which history up until the rupture point was left unchanged but then unfolded differently thereafter, but rather a skewing into a completely alternate reality in which history had already been playing out differently up until that point. This movie offers as an example the Back to the Future films, actually, which in the alternate timeline starred Eric Stoltz as Marty McFly, not Michael J. Fox, who in the normal timeline and in our reality replaced Eric Stoltz midway through the movie's production. And this history would have happened in the mid-'80s before any of these Barrys would have been born. By the way, I did a really in-depth analysis of Back to the Future over on the Deep Dive channel, and if you want to support the Deep Dive channel, please grab one of our Deep Dive exclusive merch designs like this Indie I Love You shirt at nerdwrite.shop. I have a lot of writing to do for these videos. It's not just the stuff I say, it's also communication with everybody behind the scenes at New Rockstars to make everything work as smoothly as possible. Grammarly Go helps with that a ton. Okay, so you know Grammarly, but Grammarly now has a new product, Grammarly Go. Grammarly Go provides personalized generative AI communication assistance that accelerates your productivity and unlocks creativity and empowers me to do my best possible work. You can customize your preferred style of communication by clicking Set Voice to personalize your tone and determine how you want to sound. If I want to coordinate with a production company about an upcoming video shoot while sounding formal, yet witty and engaging, I can do that in just a few clicks. If you need inspiration, say for how to decorate a set, you can input a prompt and Grammarly Go will provide you with ideas for whatever you need. The best part about Grammarly Go is that you can keep tweaking your writing until you're satisfied with it. Grammarly Go is basically your co-creator. You'll be amazed at what you can do with Grammarly Go. Sign up at Grammarly.com/rockstars06 to get 20% off Grammarly Premium. But anyway, this movie then defaults into what I refer to as my recurring 8 types of time travel categories. Type 4, this always happened, aka predestination, in which the initial act of time travel was fated by future time travel shenanigans. And unexplained phenomena that happened early in the movie are later revealed to just be characters in the future messing with themselves in the past. So, in Prisoner of Azkaban, that mysterious Patronus that saves Harry from the Dementors, he later realized was cast by himself looping back on this moment. In Christopher Nolan's Interstellar, the ghostly hand when they go through the wormhole and the creation of the wormhole and the Tesseract construct itself are really the doings of Matthew McConaughey and future advanced beings looping back on the past to do it. In Terminator, the conception of John Connor and the technological breakthroughs at Cyberdyne caused by Kyle Reese looping back in history to protect Sarah Connor and the T-800 following him, leaving behind his advanced robotics to the past that Cyberdyne would discover and use to build AI. The movie Tenet does this too. Really, most time travel movies do this because it's kind of the best way to set up a mystery and pay it off in this dramatic catharsis. This always happened. And Barry confirms this later when he tells Bruce certain people, certain events, certain strands of spaghetti drawn to each other like magnets. I've read all about temporal paradoxes and causal loops, but this is more than that. Inevitable intersections are something none of the theories could have anticipated because how do you explain that except for fate. And this movie reveals that that mysterious dark flash that knocked Barry out of the Chrono Bowl to collide with his past self 10 years prior was that same younger Barry looping back through time, endlessly disfiguring his body as he tried to avert the fated deaths of Batman and Supergirl and his mother. A closed loop. This always happened. But if that young Barry, aka Dark Flash, tried endlessly to alter this history, what cosmic force stayed a step ahead of him to make sure that the history happened? That knife went into Nora Allen every time. Going back to the question of who killed Nora Allen again and again and again and again. Well, Eobard Thawne remains a suspect, and I think will always be the case in comics canon, but we just didn't see him in this film. However, this film's goal was to establish Barry's antagonist as himself. It's his own variant who becomes Dark Flash. And there is an interesting moment where, after Barry regains his powers in the Batcave, he experiences a nightmare with who we think is Dark Flash, who's been stalking him this whole movie. It's a monstrous gargoyle that snarls at the camera, revealing razor-sharp teeth. But when we meet Dark Flash later, he doesn't have teeth like that. He just looks a bit older and withered when his mask crumbles away. Therefore, there must be an even monstrous Flash waiting somewhere in the future. A Flash who needs history to unfold with Nora Allen's death, who would stay a step ahead of that Dark Flash alternate Barry, because he knew what that Dark Flash would try to do. And I believe that monstrous Flash is our Barry, the movie's main timeline Barry. Not Barry now, not yet, because we do see his heart breaking as he says goodbye to his mother and lets her go. But imagine a hardened, more resolute Barry somewhere in the distant future who understands that the means must justify the ends. And what happens in the final shot of this movie? Barry's tooth falls out. Now, yeah, it's a funny callback to his loose tooth earlier, but yes, leaving room for new jagged teeth to grow in. Let me know what you think about this theory. And again, please subscribe to New Rockstars, subscribe to the Deep Dive, subscribe to the Break Room, support us by grabbing some merch like this indie I love you. Our Barry. And there is an interesting moment where, after Barry regains his powers in the Batcave, he experiences a nightmare with who we think is Dark Flash, who's been stalking him this whole movie. It's a monstrous gargoyle that snarls at the camera, revealing razor-sharp teeth. But when we meet Dark Flash later, he doesn't have teeth like that. He just looks a bit older and withered when his mask crumbles away. Therefore, there must be an even monstrous Flash waiting somewhere in the future. A Flash who needs history to unfold with Nora Allen's death, who would stay a step ahead of that Dark Flash alternate Barry, because he knew what that Dark Flash would try to do. And I believe that monstrous Flash is our Barry, the movie's main timeline Barry. Not Barry now, not yet, because we do see his heart breaking as he says goodbye to his mother and lets her go. But imagine a hardened, more resolute Barry somewhere in the distant future who understands that the means must justify the ends. And what happens in the final shot of this movie? Barry's tooth falls out. Now, yeah, it's a funny callback to his loose tooth earlier, but yes, leaving room for new jagged teeth to grow in. Let me know what you think about this theory. Again, please subscribe to New Rockstars, subscribe to the Deep Dive, subscribe to the Break Room, support us by grabbing some merch like this indie I love you shirt at nerdright.shop. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EAVoss. Follow New Rockstars and subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.
guy's got a reputation. Makes his actors jump through hoops before he even lets them on the set. Supposed to be some new method of building the character. Bunch of artsy-fartsy bullshit if you ask me. Just go with it. Guy doesn't... So what if the guy's a little nuts? He's a director. It comes with the job. I mean, what's he gonna do? Kill you?
Henry Cavill's time as Superman may be over. However, his character still existed in the Flash film, but was supposed to have a much bigger part to play in the film's ending. Hey everyone, welcome back to our movie news. Now, The Flash has just been released in theatres and DC fans have a lot of questions. As soon as I left that theatre, I felt that the ending to the movie felt out of place, and that's because it was not supposed to be that way. Now, before we go any further, I do need to warn you that this video will contain spoilers for the Flash movie. So if you haven't seen it yet, make sure to go check it out in theatres and then come back to this video. Now, to get to the ending of the movie, we need to work out where was Superman throughout the film. Now, that may seem like a silly question, bearing in mind we see him at the beginning of the film in Guatemala dealing with a volcano, but it is important to the ending of the film. So with Superman being in Guatemala, he is unable to help Batman take down Falcone's son. I have to say, it was a shame to not have Clark there alongside Bruce, Barry and Diana in the opening 10 minutes, as it would have shown even more of the Justice League working together. And then the next time we saw Superman was during the Speed Force scene when the Flash was running back in time. It was a badly CGI'd Superman from the Heroes Park battle in Justice League, but it was Henry Cavill's Superman. As those of you know, we then travelled the multiverse to a universe where Kal-El was killed by Zod as a baby, and it was in fact Sasha Cai's Supergirl in his place. However, by the climax of the film, we were expecting to return to our original universe. But when Barry left the courthouse, he bumped into Bruce Wayne, but not the Bruce Wayne we were expecting. Instead, we saw George Clooney's Bruce Wayne. If, like me, you felt the ending of the film didn't fit with the rest of the movie, or that it didn't feel satisfying at all, then you have a good reason to be, because that wasn't the original plan. For those who haven't been up to date with the behind-the-scenes information and drama, you would think nothing of it other than a funny cameo, or simply Barry accidentally travelling to the wrong universe. However, this wasn't the original plan, nor the plan that replaced it. This was a third change to the ending of the film, and one of those endings was supposed to have Henry Cavill's Superman appear, which is why this video has been created. I left the cinema feeling quite disappointed by the ending, and knowing the previous two planned and shot endings, I have a fair reason to feel that way. Now, the first ending was shot under the old regime at Warner Brothers, as in pre-Discovery merger, run by Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich. Now, they were not fans of the DCEU as it was, and wanted to erase those characters, specifically Cavill's Superman and Affleck's Batman. So the original ending of The Flash was supposed to have Sasha Calle's Supergirl and Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne meeting Barry Allen outside the court, which is what we can see from these behind-the-scenes images. There was also this split-second shot from one of the trailers showing Carl and Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne meeting Barry Allen outside the court, which is what we can see from these behind-the-scenes images. There was also this split-second shot from one of the trailers showing Kara outside the courtroom saying, "Are you ready?" But obviously, it was one of the many scenes removed from the film. Keaton was to become the Nick Fury-type character for the DCEU, and Supergirl was replacing Superman. Alongside this, Batman was also being replaced by Batgirl. And then the merger with Discovery happened and a new regime came in. Amala Abdi and Michael DeLuca temporarily took over from Walter Hamada to help run DC. During this time, Warner Bros. Discovery decided that the Batgirl film was not good enough to release to the public, so decided to scrap the film. Batgirl was also going to be set after The Flash and was going to have Keaton take Batgirl under his wing in the new DCEU. But all of that changed when Discovery came in and Abdi and DeLuca pushed forward with what they thought was best for DC. Their first call of action was bringing back Henry Cavill for Black Adam, and when shooting that scene, they shot an extra scene for The Flash. This is where it gets interesting. The rumoured end credit scene would have included Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot setting up future projects for both of them. Now, I am unsure if they would have been accompanied by Supergirl and Keaton's Bruce Wayne in that specific scene, but they would have been in the same universe as one another. I also know that Cavill and Gadot both shot scenes to set up a new storyline for both characters. They also shot an extra post-credit scene of Ben Affleck's Batman being trapped in some form of nightmare world, with Affleck asking Barry to help find him. Affleck has stated recently that he wanted to continue playing Batman after the Flash film in a recent podcast, even shooting a scene for Aquaman 2. But James Gunn and Peter Safran had different plans. So DeLuca and Abdi didn't want to get rid of Affleck or Cavill and didn't want to reboot the universe. Instead, they wanted to set up brand new storylines for those characters. They wanted to rebuild the DCEU. And that is what The Flash's ending was going to be under Abdi and DeLuca until James Gunn and Peter Safran took over. Once they were in charge, they gave notes to all the upcoming DC films as to what they should keep, change, or remove. And within that came change to the Flash film. Now, I'm sure there were a few adjustments made to the rest of the film because of their hiring, but the biggest one of all is the ending of the movie. The final cut of the movie has removed Keaton's Bruce Wayne, Sasha Calle's Supergirl, Cavill's Superman, Gadot's Wonder Woman, and Ben Affleck's Batman, and instead replaced them all with George Clooney's Bruce Wayne. Now, I don't know about you, but to me that was a huge downgrade. I thought Walter Hamada's ending was poor, and I thought Abdi and DeLuca's changes were a huge upgrade, and then I think Gunn's changes were a huge downgrade. Now, I know Gunn removed those scenes to not set up any false promises they couldn't keep, as putting in scenes that were setting up futures that weren't going to happen anymore as they were rebooting the universe could have been counterproductive to the success of their new universe. However, I think the ending they decided to go with was lazy and disrespectful. They put hardly any thought into it and actually damaged Andy Muschietti's film. It became a cheap joke instead of making fans excited for what's next, or at least a good goodbye. It was a throwaway last-minute decision that I feel harmed the ending big time. So the question is, are you happy with the ending we got, or do you think they shouldn't have changed it? And if so, which ending should they have kept? Hamada's or DeLuca's and Abdi's? Let me know in the comments below. I think the biggest problem with this whole conversation is that all three parties tampered with Andy Muschietti's film. All had different motives and they all made changes to his film. So no matter which of the three endings we got, none were going to be Muschietti's ending. I know these films need to follow a larger story to feel connected and to allow fans to be excited for what happens next, but Warner Brothers are famous for micromanaging projects, and this is another one of those projects. Yes, I personally think they should have stuck with DeLuca and Abdi's ending, as it keeps my two favourite iterations of Superman and Batman, but at the end of the day, the The Flash movie began as a studio movie, with Hamada wanting to erase the main DCEU characters, then went to the new studio wanting to keep the main DCEU characters, and it ended with Gunn erasing the main DCEU characters. It was never designed to be a Flash movie. The studio's intentions were for the movie to move the overall universe in a different direction to the one it was currently going in. Anyway, I think that conversation is for another video entirely, so make sure to let me know what you thought of the endings to The Flash in the comments below. But that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. I hope to see you here again soon, so until then, have a great day.
These images, memories of you, they've been haunting me.
And yet you cling to them. Because without me, you have nothing.
I'm back, Hardy. Scouted out the whole area. Looks like there's a trail we can follow.
Trail?
Aye. Left by fellow pirates, no doubt. To lead us to a safe harbor. There she is, Mr. Hardy. The fastest vessel ever built. Ready to set sail for the land of the flame.
I don't see any sails.
Shh. We must make our way aboard. Quietly. fast, Mr. Hardy. Too many of them scurvy dogs to take head on.
Lily, I want to go home.
Quartermaster, steel yourself. Be your heart soaked in doubt, or be the...
In the spotlight, they were safe. Their will controlled and understandable. know you did it. You killed her.
Truth is, it was her killing me. Slowly. All this time.
In the land we've seen behind shut eyes, the one of bright shores caressed by tide, where there's no pain, no fear, no fury, no lies. There we shall stand tall, our hearts full of pride. If your dreams are bold and by no man bound, if your soul is strong, unlike any other, able to build walls or tear to the ground, then yours is this world, my little brother.
Not all lives are created equal, but one can become a vessel to carry within the flame of another. Who are we to deny it? Who are we?
This fellow is wise enough to play the fool.
Is to get rid of it. A little spark is all it takes to set the human soul on fire. An act of creation always begins with an act of destruction. One life ends, another begins. One life ends. The right one. Action. For life, one must be taken. The right one. The simple task and the execution. Truthful, instinctive, pure. That'll do for now.
Obedience. It's something you should learn.
Look what I found, Mr. Hardy. This chart will lead us away from peril and into safe harbor. You shouldn't play with strangers. She wouldn't like that. She doesn't like it when you play with anyone but her.
Lily, I think there's something in the door.
Shh! Someone's coming.
Hello?
What the fuck?